Hi, welcome into today's episode where we're going to be talking about finding a perfect place for your salon. I'm not going to just share my experience, I have also an expert guest. Please welcome Realtor Kate Kelly.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you, Kate, so much for coming in. The information that you have is so valuable, and I am dying to start.
Let's jump in.
So you know that when I was a nail technician, I worked for a couple of years, and then it's naturally that a person wants to grow. Mm-hmm. And I started looking for a space to open a salon. But it all sounds very scary because, oh my God, it's a whole salon. You have to go find someone who will find you something. And then you have to talk and landlords. And it's so scary when you're starting. Mm-hmm. So a lot of nail techs, they're going to rent salon suites, mm-hmm. which are overpriced most of the time for nail techs. And they just gave up on opening their salons because it's so scary, because it's so big and you have to talk to so many scary people. Mm-hmm. So I want to break this myth. It's not true. Mm-hmm. It's not that scary. I've been there twice. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually 3 times. Mm-hmm. I think we should start with the introduction. Would you please tell us a little bit of what you do?
Sure. So I'm a Chicago native. I grew up in Evanston. We're living in different areas of Chicago for the last 15 years with my kids and little dog. I started in real estate about 15 years ago as a property manager of high-rises and doing leasing. And then I moved over to the buy-sell side, becoming a realtor about 5 years ago. And I'm now on a real estate team called the Cozy Group at Compass. I absolutely love it there. And I just love my job helping people navigate this process, which can seem super overwhelming, is like what I get so much fulfillment from.
Yes.
So I'm grateful to have you as a client too.
Yay! Just FYI, Kate helped find me a home for me and my husband and our son. Kate helped me to find a space for the school, which was a very hard long process, and she also helped me find a space for salon, which was like perfect, exactly what I wanted. So it's like you helped my dreams come true. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. I do residential and commercial real estate, which I think is great to be able to offer that to clients.
Absolutely, mm-hmm. Because I don't even know any other realtors that would offer commercial too. Most of them focus on residential.
Right.
So, and then, small businesses like me, we need help.
Yeah. Commercial is a different animal, but it's fun too.
Kate, can you please tell me, or maybe walk me step by step, how it looks like working with you?
Sure. So when you're looking for a space, especially for a new business, I think it's most important to start talking to a realtor right away. And there's a couple reasons for this. The number one thing is that the timeline can be much longer than you anticipated because of city regulations, permitting, build out, all that, and we can get more into that later. Yeah. So the first thing I do with clients is just set up a phone call or a meeting. We talk through what you're looking for, neighborhood, walkability, do you need to have a certain amount of bathrooms and parking spaces, size, your budget, all that jazz. And then if you're ready to start looking seriously, we'll set up a search. So we'll put your parameters in there. Anytime something comes up that falls within those parameters, you'll be notified automatically. And then we get to do the fun part, start seeing places. Everyone loves that part. And once you find the place that you love and want to move forward with, if you're looking to lease a space, then we'll fill out some type of application. If you're buying a space, it's a little bit different of a process, but I think most small business owners are going to start leasing. So that process, we kind of tell the landlord the gist of your business, what you're going to be doing with the space. They also will ask for some financial documents just to make sure you can afford the rent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of negotiations that happen at that point before you actually sign the lease. And then once we've gotten through all of that, then you sign the lease, get the keys, and start your build out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. Let's talk a little bit about negotiations, because
Okay.
I have I rented 3 spaces. Currently have just 2, but all total together, I went through this process 3 times. And negotiations can be so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like at my last space that we're filming over here, the landlord is responsible for HVAC maintenance and repairs. On my other unit and my other salon, the landlord is not responsible for that. It's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there is like some typical things that landlords responsible for and the tenants responsible for?
So commercial is very different in residential in that if you're leasing an apartment, you expect your landlord to maintain all of the mechanicals.
Yeah.
With commercial, it's completely negotiable and really varies. So there's not like a standard. It depends on like the space.
The landlord.
It depends on the landlord too, yeah. So I come from a very solution-driven strategy. I want to be positive and easygoing from the beginning so we can develop a really good relationship with the landlord when we're going through negotiations, because it can get a little contentious.
Yes.
So
And scary for you if this is your first time.
right. So I always suggest to my clients to partner with a real estate attorney because they know real estate law better than anyone else. So they'll be a part of these negotiations as well. But during the negotiation process, before you sign a lease, we're talking about who's going to pay for the build out that you need. Will you have to pay for rent during that time? Will you have to pay for rent until you get any necessary city permits? Who will maintain the mechanicals of the building? Will you have to pay taxes and insurance for the building space, or will the landlord pay for that? What type of utilities are going to be covered in the lease? So there's a lot there, and partnering with a great realtor and an attorney that understand all that and have like tons of experience is just going to save you time and energy.
You 100%
And money, honestly.
100% agree with you, because I remember the space for the school that we were assigning, I was reviewing everything by myself. Oh my God, it's so stressful because I have my work that I every day do, and then I have to deal with an attorney who is a little pushy because, well, probably that's how it works. Or maybe he's not pushy. Maybe I just perceive it that way, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very stressful. And then I ended up paying for my lease without being able to be there because I did not specify that I would need some time extra or stuff like that.
Right.
And with the last one, you recommended the attorney. Oh my God. It was so easy peasy.
Yeah. Right. I think, and you had already seen with your purchase of your home how beneficial having a great attorney was. So I think that relationship can be like underestimated, but
it's definitely underestimated. And now, FYI, it's not that expensive.
It's not. It's like a couple $100, right?
It's a couple $100 for the attorney. It's totally worth it. And I also want to have a little note here that I work with one attorney who seems to not care about me. So it's very important.
Oh my gosh, you have to tell me what it is afterwards.
It's very important to have a referral from your real estate agent about the attorney, because like in my case, I found the guy God knows where, and to me it seems like he was on the side of my landlord, not on my side,
right?
Which I'm paying him, so it should be opposite. So another like benefit why I love working with you, because you have the context of people who will be on my side, and they will make my process easier, not the landlord's, mine.
Right. Yeah, you're hiring a realtor and an attorney as your advocate and partners. And so I'm glad that you felt that way.
Absolutely. And I think, a lot of people don't understand it that way. I think a lot of people think, oh, a realtor wants just to take my money, or an attorney just wants to take my money. People don't understand that they're there to help you.
Right. There's a lot that goes into the process that clients might not see, but we're really there like pushing for you the whole time.
Absolutely.
And also explaining things.
Yes.
I don't expect you to know everything about real estate. I mean, surely I don't, but I know a lot more than...
Absolutely, 100%.
I don't know anything about running a nail salon, but, that's your area of expertise.
Exactly, the same thing. Like, people come to get their nails done to a professional. So when we're looking for a place, we should go to a professional too.
Exactly. Yes.
That's so cool. Because I really think that people don't understand the value of your work.
I know. I think that's,
Maybe because they had bad experience or something before, or heard from someone something.
I try to make the process as easy as possible for my clients. That's my goal. So it can seem like we're doing just a minimal amount of work and getting paid a lot of money, and that's just absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
So, but it's great to hear that a client that I've worked with several times can see the value in a realtor.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's so worth it. Like, I don't ever want to find, like, I want to have more salons, but I don't ever want to go back and search for them by myself.
No. I can't even imagine. You did that by yourself the first time. I don't even know how you did that.
So it took me a year, because my husband went to buy flowers for me on my birthday next door to that salon.
Yeah.
So my birthday is June 29th, and I got the city license in June next year after that.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like a year.
Yeah.
Thanks God. I think the landlord just really wanted to rent the space out. So we didn't pay any rent fees until we got the license from the city. But a whole year.
I know.
With you, we found this one, I believe, in like 2 or 3 months.
Right.
It was so fast.
Places. Yeah.
So fast.
And you also know a lot more about the permitting process now than you did back then.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Another question I have is, when I'm starting to work with you, does that mean that we have to find a place within a month or 3 months, or we can look for a place for like 2 years? I don't know. Is there like any specific time frame for your work?
On my end, no time frame at all. There's not like, I'm not going to give you an end date when we have to find something. It's completely up to the client. So,
so cool.
And it's sometimes kind of tough to find the right commercial space for you. That's why I think getting started earlier than later is better. That way you just give yourself a little bit more of a cushion there.
Absolutely.
For the right place to become available.
Absolutely. Remember we were looking for a place for school since after the COVID.
Yeah,
so
during
like,
COVID.
Yeah, 21, 22, and 23. We found it 23 or 22. 22 summertime.
Yeah, I think it
was 22. Yeah. So it took like almost a year to find a place for the school. And then the process takes a long time too. So that's really cool that there is like no strict time frames for work with you. Because people will think that, I just paid for my 3 hours, whatever, consultation.
No. So when I speak with clients, it's a no pressure situation. Our first talk, you don't owe me anything for that. I don't charge my clients hourly. I'm just there to provide value and educate them and really listen to what they want to see if I can help them in the best way. And it's just a no pressure conversation.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that kind of,
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that kind of leads me to, what does it cost to have a realtor?
Yes, that's like the hottest topic. People think they have to pay you $10,000 for finding a salon for them for 1,000 square feet.
False. So up front, you pay nothing at all. The way it's been done historically is that the landlord would pay the renter's agent's commission. I don't know if you guys have heard about this big NAR lawsuit about buyer's agency commissions. That's a whole nother podcast episode in itself.
For real.
But the laws around that are changing. Commission's always been negotiable. So I don't have a clear answer. It used to be that the landlord would traditionally pay renters, agents commission. Now that's something we negotiate, and that will be part of our negotiation process when we're putting the application before you sign the lease and all that. I will always do my best to have my renters and buyers, the commission that I'm owed for that, paid for by the seller or by the landlord. But that would be something that's paid out after the lease is signed and when you actually move into the space. So there's nothing paid up front. And if we're working together, we'll be diving into this really deep so that everything's transparent up front and you know what to expect.
Yeah, so do you think you'll be able to, like, let's say I want to rent a space and I'm coming to you, okay, help me find a space. Would you be able to tell me that, okay, I will do my best to have landlord pay my commission, but in case this is not working, this is the amount you would need to pay?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
like you have the number.
Yeah. So typically, so no one's panicking, it's about a half month's rent. So if your rent's $2,000, your landlord would your agent would expect to get paid about $1,000. So
nothing.
Yeah, it's very digestible.
That's really nothing. I thought it would be like $5,000 or something.
No,
You see, that's what people think.
I know.
Realtors are making.
Well, when you're buying a place, it's different.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
On the
we're
renting
talking
side,
about renting a 1,000 square feet space. Come on, it's not that huge.
The lease term for commercial leases is usually about 5 years. So that's another part of negotiations, is that we'll talk about what is your rent rate going to be per month the first year? Is that going to increase the second, third, fourth, fifth year? All that.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. I'm so happy you remembered. Do landlords sometimes or usually okay when you want to rent a space for just a year?
For commercial spaces, you typically see a longer lease length, and that's because there's typically some type of build out that's involved, and during build out, they're typically not charging tenants rent. So that just kind of puts them into a position where, like, they've already kind of invested in you've invested in the space, renting for 1 year is really short. However, if you're renting something that's already to your liking, it might be more likely that they would rent it for just a year. Rent it to you for just a year.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's not like set in stone, it has to be 5 years. That's just what we usually see.
The most common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally worth it because you building walls or you painting or installing a floor or something. You don't want to spend $10,000 on installing the floor and then in a year you'd have to leave.
Right.
You're not going to take this floor with you. FYI, this is in your contract,
right.
in the lease, and make sure you read. Better have an attorney for that, but whatever it is, you can't take the floor with you. It stays there.
Yeah, the fixtures all stay.
Yeah.
Any improvements that you do to the space, putting in walls or whatever, that all stays when you leave. The goal is that you have a booming business and that you can stay for 5 years, And then you grow and you have to move out or whatever, knock down a wall and expand into the place next door.
Yeah, that is possible too. Just, again, have an attorney to help with that too. Have you ever had any fun situations with renters or landlords when it comes to renting a commercial space? Like, have you ever had an experience when like a small business owner wants to find 5,000 square feet space for $2,000 month rent, and you have to tell them that it's impossible?
Yes. There's a lot of delusional people out there. Yeah. So that's something we cover in our initial conversation too, because I'm like, if we have to align your expectations, and if you're just completely delusional, then it's not going to work.
You have to know what costs what.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, there's also some landlords that are just like a little wacky too. So I see that more, I think, because the negotiations are so in depth on the commercial side up front. Everyone's making sure they're really comfortable with the terms. I see the wacko situations happen more on the residential side with tenants and landlords.
Yeah. I think, it's scarce at front to negotiate and like find the golden spot in the middle. But I'm so happy it's happening because then you're secured for 5 years. You know you're responsible for this. The landlords are responsible for this. Awesome.
Right. Everything's hammered out, so there's no questions down the line.
Yeah.
Or if you can't come to agreement, then this is not the space for you. Let's move on.
Absolutely. There will be another one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate, so much for all this valuable information. It was such a pleasure talking with you. For all of our listeners and viewers, would you please share where they can find you and get in contact with you to hopefully start working with you soon and have their life easy peasy going?
Yes, absolutely. My Instagram is Kate plus real estate. My email is kate.kelly@compass.com.
We're going to leave all the credentials
and
and the description of this. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is great.